This video we will try to find out intrinsic value of Nike stock. So let's get started. So in the first field we will put company name there and we will select today's date and country of incorporation, which is United States, industry apparel, year since last 10K is 1, and next is current year revenue, and we can find out revenue here in result of operation as well. But the 2024 revenue in most recent 12 month and last K for 2023. And you can also find the operating income at same place, income before income taxes, 6700 for 2024 and 6201 for last 10K. Interest expensive is little tricky here. As you can see here, they just show the interest income, not interest expense. We need to find out the interest expense. As we can scroll down at page 74, you can see here in footnote that they mentioned about 430 million interest income. This 430 million we have to deduct from actual income showed previously, which was 161 million. The difference of 430 and 161 is our interest expense for year 2024, which is 269. The same we have to do for last 10K. If we again scroll down to page 74, we can see there is also mentioned about 297 million for 2023. The interest income 297 minus we have to deduct the actual they showed in the statement, which was 6 million. So 297 minus 6 million is equal to 291 million interest expense for the last year. Next we have to find out the book value of equity, which can we find out in the balance sheet. As we can see here in balance sheet, bottom of balance sheet, the total shareholder equity for year 2024 and 2023. And next one is book value of debt. We have to add up all the interest bearing debt, which is included operating lease liabilities as well. Add up all the interest bearing debt for 2024, 1000, notes payable 6, current portion of operating lease liabilities, long term debt, operating lease liabilities, $11,952, and same thing for the last 10K. Notes payable, current portion of operating lease liabilities, long term debt, and operating lease liabilities. We are adding operating lease liabilities here as they are contractual commitments and we treated it as a debt. Next item is a research and development expense to capitalize, but in this case we don't have any R&D expenses, so we will leave it unchecked. And same with the operating lease commitments, but we have already counted the operating lease commitment in our long-term debt, so we are not double counting here. Leave it as it is. The next thing is cash and marketable security, which we can also find in our balance sheet. We have to add up cash and equivalents and short-term investments for 2024, which is 9860 plus 7022, 11,582 for this year, and for last year 7441 plus 3234 is equal to 10,675 for last year. And for cross holdings, Nike don't have any cross holdings or minority interest, so we will leave it as 0. For number of shares outstanding, we can find out the latest number of outstanding shares on the Yahoo Finance in the financial statement, which is showing 1.5 billion shares outstanding. And current stock price we can also find out on the Yahoo Finance. It is trading at $82.10 today. And next item is effective tax rate, which we can find out by searching in the statement tax rate. They have mentioned at many places about their effective tax rate. As you can see, the effective income tax rate for 2024 is 14.9%. Just put 14.9% here, and the marginal tax rate for US is 25%. And you can also check the reference data for our company. You can see the revenue growth, which was very little for the 2024, and pre-tax operating margins for the company is around 13%. Sales to capital ratio is 3.47% for the company, and return on invested capital is around 38%. Now in next part we have to find out all about company's future, what we expect from the company. First we have to find out the revenue growth for next year and the revenue growth for year 2 to year 5, and I feel that the company will grow around 6%, but this can be up or down. This is just my guess, and I also feel that from year 2 to 5 company will grow around 6% a year. And for operating margins we will keep it 13.04%. for company will increase its operating margin slightly in year 5 due to its brand recognition. Next we have to find out the sales to capital ratio, and company sales to capital ratio is 3.47. I will keep the same sales to capital ratio for them of their brand recognition. And for market numbers we need a risk-free rate, which we can find out on Google. We need to find out 10-year treasury yield for US. For the US 10-year treasury yield, it is trading right now at 3.85%, actually 3.84%. And for initial cost of capital, we need to go to cost of capital worksheet, and I am getting approach here industrial leverage, and for industry I'm using single business global, and cost of capital we get is 8.54 here. For next, I am leaving all the default assumptions as it is except the first two one. The first assumption is in a stable growth. I will assume that my firm will have the cost of capital similar to the typical mature company, and I don't want to overwrite it. The next is I assume that your firm will earn a return on capital equal to its cost of capital after year 10, but I'm I want to override this one because I feel that due to Nike's brand recognition and its edge on their competitor, its return on capital will drop from 38, but it will still stay at around 20%. So I'm keeping it 20% after year 10, and all other assumptions I'm leaving at as it is. I'm not changing anything here, and now we can cross check our values if we miss anything. Everything looks good here, and now we can compute the values, and we can see the estimated value per share is $80.50, and its current market price is $82, and it's almost trading at its fair value. Little expensive, but very close to its fair value. We can also find out its detailed report by clicking details section. As you can see our revenue growth rate from year 1 to year 10, all our operating margins, our free cash flows, and present value of free cash flows. Our terminal value is $178 billion, and its present value is $122 billion. And if we divide our value of 122 billion to the number of shares outstanding, we got our estimated value per share, which is $80.50, as compared to the actual price of the stock $82.10.